thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase. I don't know about you, but every now and then I tend to have a bit of an existential crisis. And I tend to host a little referendum in my head, pondering the question, do I even like photography? And it tends to happen when I'm on my sort of 4th or 5th outing without a photo that I like. And I notice a little voice on my shoulder saying, "Psst, James, should we just go home and watch documentaries about Dunkirk?" Now, on the surface at least, this could be solved quite simply by, for example, doing more research about where it is that I go to take photos. I could plan ahead and work out exactly what kinds of shots I wanted to get at any given location in order to get some bangers. Or I could restart doing what I used to do years ago, which was walk up a mountain for sunset in order to get a nice photo. And you're not guaranteed to get a nice photo when you do that, but I think you're probably more likely to get a nice photo than doing what I do, which is walking around sleepy coastal towns in midday sun, shooting at normal focal lengths at head height. I do tend to put restrictions on myself. The problem is that wouldn't solve the problem for me, because nice photos of a mountain at sunset is the same as a bad photo if you don't have any interest in it. And so those photos would end up in basically the same place as all the bad photos I've ever taken anyway, which is buried deep on an old dusty hard drive. And as for planning, well, that's not much good either, because I enjoy the sort of thrill of the unknown. And the reality, I think, is that photography, whatever your interests within photography, is hard. And harvests are not daily occurrences. And if they were, the euphoria that you feel when you get a good photo would quickly sort of dissolve until none of it felt fun at all, I think. Basically, if everything is good, nothing is good. And like everybody who plays golf, I would like to be much better at golf. I'd love to have a better short game and a better long game. I'd definitely like to be better at putting. I'd like to be better at golf. All golf. But imagine you were so good at golf that the ball went exactly where you wanted it to go every single time. That would be fun for a day, and you'd make a lot of money, but it would be tedious quite quickly. And in other words, photography, like anything worthwhile, is hard. And it's only worthwhile because it's hard. And so difficulty is a feature, not a bug. So anyway, there is a trick I have learned to combat the little voice on my shoulder that enjoys restored World War II footage. And I call it, well, it's an acronym, that's not true, it's an initialism, NPG, non-photography goals. What is that?
Right, as of 2 minutes ago, I had done 1,420 steps today, and it's approaching 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Shocking, but there's time to make it up, and that's the plan. I've got to do 20,000 steps on top of what I've already done before I leave here this evening. Simple.
See, step counts I find to be a pretty good example of a non-photography goal, be it 5,000 steps, 20,000, 50,000, it doesn't really matter. The point is that until you've done those steps, you're out, and that gives you a chance to get photos, even if there's a little voice on your shoulder telling you to go home because it's pointless, not worthwhile, you're not going to get a good photo, the light's not good, etc. Would have been ideal if I'd have got a decent photo at the end of those 20,000 steps to illustrate the point, but I didn't. Really. Anyway, next morning I went and did a similar thing in Llandudno, and I walked 20,000 steps, Got most of the photos in the first 3,000 steps. Didn't really see a whole lot after that. And again, the 20,000 steps was a little bit pointless in terms of photography. I mean, I was outside doing exercise in the fresh air. That's a good thing. But I didn't get any photos of the kind that I haven't taken a million times before. And the thing is, I found that if I don't have a non-photography goal and I'm stood in front of something I've photographed a million times before, I will just be pondering the idea of going home and watching Al Murray and James Holland talking in a field in France. And again, the whole point of this is to keep me out so that I give myself a chance of seeing something. But step count is just one of the techniques that I use. So I do quite like the step count thing. I often find it effective, but it's not perfect because often I'll be stood somewhere waiting for a photo and I'll convince myself that nothing's really happening and that I should move on and keep my step count going, particularly if it's cold or if I'm hungry. So right now, I'm not counting my steps. I'm doing my second favourite thing, which is picking a route and walking from A to B and then back to A, because that's where I've parked. Yeah. I suppose it goes without saying that at some stage I would like to show you some photos that I can easily attribute to the implementation of NPGs. Then again, the whole reason for implementing them is that photos don't come along all that often, all the time. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Hopefully at some stage, this video makes sense. One of the nice things about doing the A to B thing, as opposed to the step count thing, is that you don't have to commit any brain power to working out where it is that you're going to go. You've already decided it. You just walk that route and concentrate all of your energy on hunting for photos. Subconscious energy, mind. You can be doing other stuff, but yeah, if you're not thinking about where to go, you should, in theory at least, be more cognizant of what's going on around you. Obviously, it doesn't mean if you see something interesting, you can't go down a little side street or whatever, but by and large, you've worked out what it is that you're going to do over the next few hours. But there are other variations of this. I'm doing another of my favourite things this morning, which is not necessarily to plan an exact route, but to spend a set amount of time in a particular place. My car needs a service in an hour and a half just up the road, so I've come here this morning to Ross-on-Sea to see what I find for the next, as I say, hour and a half. Tide's a bit further out than I'd like, but there's not a breath of wind and there's some nice light, so we'll see. I really like the look of this shot with some dog walkers in the background. The tide's coming in, therefore the dog walkers are coming closer to me, and the light is finally coming out. Basically, there's been a big cloud just there. No clouds anywhere else except for exactly where the sun is, which, I don't know about you, that seems to happen to me all the time. And I do view it as happening to me, personally. God, I'm in a really whingy mood this morning. Maybe I'm worried about the car bill. So there was a big old fire here a few weeks back, obviously. And I've not been up here because it's been closed, but it's pretty wild. And I wanted to come up here today because there's a real haze in the air from smoke, but not from a fire close to here, from South Wales. The smoke has drifted up on a southerly wind, although it's not quite reached the coast as much as I thought it might have, based on how my house smelt this morning. Must be a slight northerly sea breeze or something, because it's not quite as hazy as I was hoping. It would be quite atmospheric up here, but we'll see. As you know, or you may know, if you watched the last video particularly, these are basically my favourite conditions, bright sunshine. And there is a bit of haze from the smoke, which is lovely, but I think actually this scene would suit moodier conditions, some softer light. So I shall be back up here to explore before there's more growth. Because at the minute it looks quite dystopian, so I think it would make sense to try and shoot it in dystopian light. I've completely lost track of what this video is supposed to be about. NPGs, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I find them a really useful solution to the problem of lacking inspiration or worrying too much about getting decent photos. To be honest though, I do think the best thing to do is to find something in the outdoors that makes you forget about photography entirely until you see a photo opportunity, and then you get your camera out. I think that's the best thing to do, be it mountain biking, sitting on a bench with a friend, or going for a walk with a podcast. But if that doesn't work, get a pedometer, I think is my advice for this video. So yeah, non-photography goals. I don't know if this video has made any sense, to be honest. It sort of got away with me a little bit, compounded by the fact that I'm learning a new editing software. I've paid Adobe way too much money over the years for Premiere Pro, so I've switched to DaVinci, but this is my first video using DaVinci, and I don't understand it. The colours and stuff might be a bit different in this video because of that, and I'm also going to blame the fact that this video might not make any sense on the fact that I'm using a new editing software and not my just general confusion. Anyway, so there we have it. If you are lacking photography motivation from time to time, if you're thinking of packing it all in, as I often do, then try and stay out with your camera based on some other kind of goal that has nothing to do with taking photos. I find it really helps. Also, big thank you to you for watching this video, and a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. Squarespace is where I have my portfolio, where I show all my best work. Probably nothing from this video, but a lot of the photos that I'm most proud of that I've taken over the years. It's where I sell my books, my prints, my presets. It's where I list my workshops. It's what I use to send the occasional newsletter. And it's fantastic. In the decade or so I've been using it, I've not had to know a single line of code. It's all template based, drag and drop. And it really wouldn't take very long to build a professional looking website from scratch. So if you would like somewhere online to showcase your work in a way that you control entirely, then definitely check out Squarespace for free with a free trial by going to squarespace.com. And after that, just go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase. And a big thank you to Squarespace for their continued support of this channel. It's much appreciated. And yeah, see you in the next one. And hopefully I'll make a video that maybe makes a bit more sense. I mean, hopefully this one made sense. I don't know. Fingers crossed.